There's a lake that turns animals into stone the moment they touch it. And a cave where the ceiling glows like a galaxy of stars. Little do the people know those stars are glowworms luring their prey. Sounds like a fantasy, right? But these places are absolutely real. Welcome to a world where the unbelievable is just another part of the scenery. Today, we're uncovering 10 of Earth's most unreal wonders that will make you question everything you know. Get ready for a mind-blowing journey that'll leave you both amazed and excited. Number 1. The Rainbow Mountains of Jiangxi, Dangxia, China. Have you ever seen a painting so beautiful that you wish you could step inside it? That's exactly what the Rainbow Mountains in Jiangxi, Dangxia feels like. But spoiler alert, these colors are 100% real. And no, you don't need to adjust your screen. Picture this, hills splashed with every color of the rainbow. Red, yellow, green, blue, and even shades of purple. It's like someone spilled Skittles on a canvas and called it nature. But here's the wild part. This masterpiece wasn't created overnight. Scientists say these colorful stripes are the result of millions of years of sandstone and minerals layering together and then being pushed up by tectonic movements. It's like the Earth painted itself over centuries. Now, here's a little secret. While most tourists go to the main viewing platforms, locals recommend visiting early in the morning or right after it rains. Why? Because the colors pop even more, and you can avoid the crowds. Imagine having a private art gallery made by Mother Nature herself. Fun fact, the mountains were featured in a Chinese fantasy movie, Painted Skin. So if you visit, you're technically walking through a film set. Number 2. The Glowworm Caves of Waitomo, New Zealand. Imagine stepping into a dark cave and looking up to see stars? Except these aren't stars, they're glowworms, and they're lighting up the ceiling like fairy lights at a dreamy wedding. The Waitomo Caves in New Zealand are basically nature's version of a magical galaxy. These glowworms aren't just there for decoration though, they're on a mission. They're actually using their light to lure unsuspecting insects into sticky silk threads. It's a little creepy, but also genius, like a real-life version of Spider-Man's web tactics. And here's a secret not many people know. The brighter the glow, the hungrier the worm. So if the cave is shining like it's Christmas, it means these little guys are ready for a feast. You can take a boat ride through the caves, and honestly, it feels like you've floated into a scene from Avatar. Just don't try to touch the glowworms. They're delicate, and messing with them could dim this natural wonder. Number 3. Salar de Uyuni, Bolivia. Have you ever wanted to walk on a giant mirror? Well, welcome to Salar de Uyuni in Bolivia. It's the world's largest salt flat, and when it rains, it turns into a massive reflective surface. You might feel like you're walking on clouds or standing in the middle of an optical illusion. But here's the cool science behind it. This salt flat used to be a prehistoric lake. When the water evaporated, it left behind a crust of salt so vast it stretches over 10,000 square kilometers. And that's bigger than some small countries. Now, the fun part. If you visit during the dry season, it's like walking on a crunchy white desert. But during the wet season, the reflection is so perfect that photographers from all over the world come here to capture surreal images. It's Instagram heaven. Oh, and a little secret. Some tour guides will help you create optical illusion photos where you look like a giant or a tiny ant. So get ready for some mind-bending selfies. Number 4. The Door to Hell, Turkmenistan. Okay, this one sounds like something out of a horror movie. The Door to Hell is a fiery crater in the middle of the Karakum Desert, and it's been burning for over 50 years. Yes, 50 years of non-stop flames. Here's the backstory. In the 1970s, Soviet scientists were drilling for gas when the ground collapsed, forming a massive crater. To prevent the spread of poisonous gas, they decided to burn it off, thinking it would take a few days. Well, surprise, it's still burning today. Standing near the crater feels like being on another planet. The heat is intense, and the flames flicker like something straight out of Game of Thrones. Locals call it the Gate to Hell, but don't worry, it's safe to visit as long as you don't get too close. And here's a fun fact. Turkmenistan's president once tried to turn it into a tourist attraction by filming himself driving around in it in a dune buggy. Talk about a fiery PR stunt. Number 5. Pamukkale, Turkey. Imagine a staircase made of fluffy white clouds. That's what Pamukkale looks like. These terraces are actually made of travertine, a type of limestone, and they're filled with warm, mineral-rich water that cascades down like a series of infinity pools. Here's the magical part. The water is said to have healing properties. People have been soaking here for centuries, dating back to ancient Roman times. Cleopatra herself was rumored to have bathed in these waters to keep her skin glowing. A little secret for you. Most tourists head straight to the main pools, but if you walk a bit farther, you'll find quieter spots that feel like your own private spot. Just remember to take off your shoes. It's a rule to protect the delicate limestone. Oh, and just a heads up. Pamukkale translates to cotton castle in Turkish. And honestly, it lives up to the name. Number 6. Antelope Canyon, USA. If you've ever seen those stunning wavy rock formations in desktop wallpapers, chances are they're from Antelope Canyon in Arizona. This place looks like it was sculpted by an artist, but it's actually the result of water carving through sandstone over thousands of years. Walking through the canyon feels like stepping into a dream. The sunlight filters through narrow gaps, creating beams of light that make the whole place glow. It's no wonder photographers and Instagrammers flock here like it's a pilgrimage. Here's a little-known tip. The best time to visit is midday when the sun is directly overhead. That's when you get those iconic light beams. And if you're lucky, your guide might even toss sand into the air to highlight the beams for your photos. Fun fact, Antelope Canyon is on Navajo land, and it's considered a sacred site. The guides often share stories about its cultural significance, which adds an extra layer of awe to the experience. Number 7. Mount Roraima, Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana. Mount Roraima looks like something straight out of Jurassic Park. It's a flat-topped mountain surrounded by sheer cliffs that rise over 9,000 feet above the ground. To make it even more surreal, it's often shrouded in clouds, giving it a floating island vibe. Here's the kicker. This mountain is so isolated that it has plants and animals you won't find anywhere else on Earth. It's like nature's secret laboratory. For example, there's a carnivorous plant that eats insects by trapping them in its slippery leaves. Talk about survival of the fittest. Fun fact, Mount Roraima inspired the floating mountains in James Cameron's Avatar. So if you're a fan of Pandora, this is as close as it gets in real life. And here's a pro tip. The trek to the top is challenging, but the views are worth it. Plus, you'll be able to say you've walked on one of the oldest geological formations on Earth. Number 8. The Marble Caves, Chile. Hidden away in Patagonia, the Marble Caves are like stepping into a fantasy world. These caves are carved into solid marble by the waves of General Carrera Lake, and their walls are swirled with blue, green, and white patterns that look almost too perfect to be natural. To get there, you'll need to take a boat or kayak, which only adds to the adventure. And here's a secret. The best time to visit is early morning, when the light is just right for photos. Trust me, your Instagram followers will thank you. Number 9. Socotra Island, Yemen. Welcome to Socotra, the island that feels more like an alien planet than part of Earth. This remote island is home to some of the weirdest plants you'll ever see, like the dragon's blood tree. Its umbrella-like shape and blood-red sap make it look straight out of a sci-fi movie. Here's a fun secret. The dragon's blood sap has been used for centuries as medicine, dye, and even lipstick. Talk about multitasking. The island is so isolated that over a third of its plant species can't be found anywhere else. It's like nature decided to go rogue and create its own little world here. And if you're wondering about wildlife, Socotra doesn't disappoint. From unique birds to vibrant butterflies, this place is a haven for biodiversity. Just be prepared for a bit of a journey. It's not the easiest place to get to, but that's part of its charm. Number 10. The Giant's Causeway, Northern Ireland. Last but definitely not least, we have the Giant's Causeway, a natural wonder that looks like it was built by ancient architects. This site is made up of around 40,000 interlocking basalt columns, and the shapes are so perfect they almost look man-made. Legend has it that the columns were created by a giant named Finn McCool. He supposedly built the causeway to challenge another giant across the sea in Scotland. Whether you believe the myth or not, the place feels magical. And here's a pro tip. Visit at sunset when the golden light hits the columns. It's the perfect time for photos and a little giant-inspired daydreaming. And there you have it. 10 unreal places that prove our planet is full of surprises. Which one's now on your bucket list? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more adventures. Until next time, keep exploring the unbelievable.